I was unemployed for 9 months with traditional Punjabi parents at home on my case, like, hey, why aren't you working yet? What the hell are you doing with your life? And what I was doing with my life, I was smoking weed and playing PlayStation, not giving a damn about anything. And that didn't fly for very long. But I ended up getting a job in a bank. 3 month mark was coming up, and I got fired. And when I left, I had this wake up call. My brother just said to me, look, do you want to be living this way forever? Do you want to do this thing where it's like, oh, I don't get a choice what I get to do with my life. I just have to be like this. I just have to go along with what everyone's telling me I have to do. Or do you want to be able to wake up and do whatever you want all the time? Do you want to have something that you do as a career that doesn't feel like work? And I remember saying to him, yeah, but I live in the real world. And he said, in the real world that you live in, there's people being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to unbox toys like this on YouTube. So if that's possible for them, what's possible for you? So I went onto YouTube, and my brother introduced me to Gary Vaynerchuk's YouTube channel. And I started binge watching the videos. And one thing that he said, this is one of the things that contributed to me creating the money as a coach last year, is he said, go and learn a skill, get really good at it so that the value of your skill goes up, and charge money for it. And so in the beginning, I started off with music production. That's what my brother does. And so I just started making music, and yeah, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't for me. And Gary said this really funny thing in one of his videos. Someone asked him, Gary, I'm a multi-potentialite. What should I do? I love like 10 different things. I don't know which one's my passion. He goes, all right, I've got a really simple solution for you. Yeah? Pick one, go with it. And if you don't like it in 6 months, drop it, pick up the next thing. But just pick one at a time. So after music, I picked up writing and podcasts. And they went hand in hand with each other. And what happened while I was writing was I chose to make some massive life changes. I stopped drinking alcohol. I stopped hanging out with all my friends. I stopped talking to 99% of the people in my life, the majority of which were family. All of this is the backstory to me becoming a coach, because during this time, I started remembering things in my life. I started remembering really difficult childhood experiences. I was getting abused when I was a little kid. I started remembering later on in my life, like I had like severe anxiety and I was depressed all the time. And I asked the therapist, you're telling me that there's something wrong with me, can I cure it? And they said, no, but you can manage it with medication. And I said, no, I'm not going down that route. I ain't going out like that. I said, I think if this thing has been created, there can be a cure. And so I just went out to find the cure myself. And it's not out there. The cure was in here. And I wasn't looking in the right places. And when we say looking in here, this is one of the things that has helped me to help other people. It's really getting clear on like what's going on in your internal world versus your external world. So this is all the backstory. Once I cured myself of, incessant flashbacks, not being able to talk to people, hating myself, being very insecure, a lot of these things subsided, and then I started helping people. And the first 100 people that I coached, it was all on their mental health. So I've started posting on a blog on Tumblr back then, just 300 to 500 words what I was learning on a daily basis from this journey that I went on. And people started resonating with it. After 4 or 5 months, I started getting some people liking my posts. And something interesting happened. Someone asked me, are you a life coach? And I had no idea what it was, which is quite funny. So I just Googled it, I looked into it, and I found a course. The course tells you do 40 hours of practice coaching and you can pass and get your certificate. I coached 100 people for free because I wanted to test myself and see, I'm thinking of doing this. If it's going to be my career, let me coach 100 people and it will show me if it's right for me. So I did that. At the end of that, I was a completely different person. And so many of those people told me, you've got a gift for this, go out and do it. I said, all right, cool. That's more than enough reason for me to believe I can do this. And that was in 2017. The following year, that's when I started charging money for coaching and taking it on as a career. And I hired my first coach. I started earning like a livable wage from it. The following year, I hired a business coach, took my business to 6 figures. 2020, pandemic hit. I'm still like, I was making good money, but I wasn't happy. I was doing it in a very rushed way. I'd hit my 100K, wow, that's what I want to create. But nothing changed. and I was expecting something to change. I felt like something was going to be different when I did. And I remember I was on holiday. I was in Japan at one point. It was 2019. And I'd just been paid the most amount of money I've ever been paid for coaching. And I was sitting there looking at my phone, looking at the bank account like, oh, that's it. Like, nothing's changed really. And I was annoyed. I was pissed. I didn't really know what to do. So straight after that, I hired a different coach, Ankush. And what we've been doing together is changing my relationship to thinking and really getting clear on like, what is it that I want to create, and creating in a fun, relaxed and slowed down fashion rather than, oh, I've got to get here, got to get there. And that is what has formed the foundation of me having my best year in coaching.